Miss Adriana Amaya, and you are tuning in to the Employment Corner. We are here to be able to help all the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex to get connected to employers and different career paths. This is one of the features the Brother Bill's Helping Hand has been working on for this 2023 year. And today with me, we have Cesar Reeves, and he's going to be talking about a career path that is very, very famous right now as we are speaking. And I want to introduce you today and welcome you, Cesar, for being here with us in Brother Bill's Helping Hand Employment Corner.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate all the support that Brother Bills has been doing and trying to really interconnect your community with high skilled, high wage jobs. And today we're really going to be talking about 5G telecommunication careers that exist right there in the Texas, Dallas region, specifically focused on anyone that really does want to get to work, want to be in the middle class, and want to make a livable wage. We have put together quite the presentation to really talk about the employers, the jobs, the wages, and really how quickly can we get started. So, if you don't mind, Adriana, let's get started.
Yes, definitely. And thank you so much for being here. And we're going to be talking about the telecommunication career. So take it over.
Thank you. So, Adriana, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that your users and that your community understands is that when you think of telecommunications, you're really thinking about the fact that in order to make our cell phones work, somebody has to go up in a tower on or on top of a building or on top of a pole in order to set up the radio frequency receivers that makes our phones actually connect and actually communicate. So commissioning and decommissioning of really the RF equipment is really critical in today's society. So as you really look at the type of careers that exist, we're going to go into the broadband 5G technician jobs that exist, specifically as it supports in the Dallas region, which is one of the top five metropolitan areas in the country for telecom 5G careers. So let's get started.
Let's dive in. And we're very excited about this.
Thank you. So we're high level overview across the country, we're about 20 jobs short. What that basically means is we need more men and women to support these networks in order to make our 5G goals come to life. The president basically created a infrastructure bill where $60 billion is dedicated towards the 5G infrastructure, and that's going to generate not just 20,000 but 100,000 openings over the next 5 years. As we look specifically at the Dallas region, consider that we have about 411 employers nationwide, but specifically out of the 1,400 jobs that we have across the country, we have over 150 that are right there in Dallas. And every single month, it is projected to go up by around 23 to up to 34 additional openings. Now, again, Adriana, these are jobs that are high skilled, high wage. The lowest paid employer that we have is $21 an hour. So when you think of, well, what do I mean by high skilled, high wage is somewhere between 21 and $25 an hour, which some employers may be doing as little as $19 an hour, but providing additional hours based on the moment that you leave your house and the time that you get back. So they may include additional windshield time to support the candidates.
That's
But
awesome.
these are great opportunities right there in our local backyard. And at the end of the day, we're trying to make this so that it's a very simple path. We begin with a pre apprenticeship program that anybody can jump into. And depending on the amount of interest that we get in the local area, it'll dictate exactly whether we do it right there in yeah, at the Brother Bill's facility or whether we fly people over to Tampa, Florida. But imagine that every candidate will be able to go through a 2 week program to as many as 5 weeks, which is what we call a pre apprenticeship.
Awesome.
Short term focused, minimal interest education requirements, and directly articulation to a job that an employer in your local area is waiting for your people to complete. Then they're going to enter into an apprenticeship, which means a contract where the employer is committing to the candidate to give them a wage increase every 6 months for the first year to really get them off the ground and to get them the skills that they need to retain their job. And
What an
then
amazing opportunity.
it really is, Adriana. And then all of it basically articulates back not just to a diploma, but it articulates to a degree. So at the end of the day, you earn while you learn and you progress accordingly. And the beauty is it's true pre-apprentice. You're going to get all of the entry level certifications in a matter of weeks. Now, they're not going to be short, easy weeks. They're going to be kind of like a boot camp. Um, and in that boot camp methodology, it's between 8 and 12 hours a day, depending on which program it is. And it could be as little as 2 to 3 days a week or as much as 6 days a week, again, depending on the program. But at the end of the day, it all articulates directly to employment. So that when you finish the program, you've already been interviewed by an employer, you have a job offer contingency on you completing the program, passing a background check, a drug test, and being able to actually have a driver's license to get to and from work. And we're also going to talk about, well, if I have a background, does that mean that I can't have a job? I will cover some of those questions later because we have second chance employers right there in Dallas that are saying that, look, we all have a past, but at the end of the day, it does not dictate the future. So these employers are willing and able to provide employment even without a perfect 7-year background check. But again, we'll go into that in great detail. Now, one of the key things is through this program, we're really trying to focus on the equity gap, meaning, in the industry, only 9% of the industry is minority based. And our goal over the last couple of years is to really bring Black and Browns, give them the opportunity to be in the middle class. So through this program, we reduce the equity gap. We provide the earn while you learn model, and we put everyone into the middle class the moment that they gain employment. So it's not as if you have to wait years. This happens very, very quickly. So to give you an example, depending on the skill of the individual, and when we talk to the candidates specifically, we're going to find out a lot about them. For example, I mean, can they climb? Do they have a fear of heights? What kind of work do they want to do? Um, how detailed do they want to get? Because there is a tower program, a fiber optic program, and a wireless program, which means on the tower, if they're not afraid of heights, they're going to learn how to set up the radio frequency receivers that make our great phones work. Now,
Awesome.
that's not the only job that exists in telecom. If that doesn't work for you, there are careers where we teach you how to do the work in a bucket truck, but on top of light poles or on the side of buildings. And then for those that just cannot handle any heights at all, it's okay. You can do work directly on the ground as a fiber technician. At the end of the day, regardless of which program you take, it leads directly to employability upon graduation. The next thing is that this is all being funded and awarded through T-Mobile. T-Mobile gave us $2 million for a diversity grant. And what we're trying to do is support all men and women, specifically Black and Brown being the primary. We believe that, you know, Black and Brown, Hispanics, people, minorities, that we deserve an opportunity to get into these careers. The beauty is, if you're a person of color or not, we also want to look at your economic stability so that if you do have a economic disadvantage, we want to be able to support you because again, we want to diversify this industry with men and women that may not be from the industry but want to be self-sustaining members. So the
Correct.
Next Tech program will be supporting those grants. Here's the best part. We provide a turnkey framework. Let's assume for 1 minute that we get 10 people that are going to be right there in Dallas, and they can attend at the same dates and times. If that's the case, we host it right there above the bills, and it'll be perfect because you won't have to travel or transportation or anything. And if that occurs, you're set because it's right there in your own backyard. But let's assume that we only get a few people in different time slots and in different areas, and we have to provide a diversity of a solution. Well, in that case, we would actually take the individual, we would fly you to Tampa, Florida at no cost. It would be funded by the grant. We would provide you with housing in our dorms. We would provide you with your meal plan, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. And we provide transportation to and from the dorms. In addition to that, we provide power skills like problem solving, decision making, financial literacy, so that when you start making the kind of paychecks that our graduates make, that you don't make poor decisions. And then, equally as important, a personality assessment profile that teaches you how to work with other personalities and how to engage accordingly so that you're in a constructive, positive environment. And then last but not least is the career readiness. From the day that you come in, you build a digital resume that is placed in a database system. It's a resume that has your picture. It has a video interview of 5 key questions that employers will ask you so that the employers can see you beforehand before they even meet you at an interview component. We're going to create the resume, provide interviewing skills, even a couple of mock interviews, and then we will document every single competency that you do. So when you graduate from a program, let's say fiber, no one has to ever ask you, are you really able to do this specific skill? You're going to be able to show them from a body of knowledge, videos and pictures of you executing each and every step that it took for us to validate that you are skilled and you're ready to go to work. And that profile stays with you for the rest of your career. Meaning, whether you're here for 1 year or 12 years, that is going to become your digital passport that allows you to go anywhere across the industry and maintain all of your credentials without any questioning as to whether or not you are able to work in this industry.
That's
But the
awesome.
other
And the question is, who qualifies, Cesar?
So this is actually a really good question. It's the qualification is everything. In your case, we want to give minorities first right of refusal. That's really the passion. I truly do believe that we have to make sure, Adriana, that people of color and minorities that they get these opportunities. So picture this: my employers are going to ensure that if you are a minority, Hispanic, Black, just whatever defines diversity, right? That you get the first crack at that position. Now, when you get this opportunity, it's going to be a job offer within
Mhm.
probably 3 to 4 days. In other words, once you start your interview process, the first thing that they're going to want to know is, hey, do you have a clean driving record? Because imagine you're going to be driving in vehicles that are going to have probably about $1 million worth of equipment. And a clean driving record is what's going to prevent an employer from paying in crazy premiums on your insurance. But the driving record, do you have a background? If you have a background, this is where I say it's okay. Tell us what your background is so that we know exactly what employer to put you in. What I don't want to do is disappoint you by sending you to an employer that has a background requirement of 7 years when we know that you can't qualify for that. That we will not do. What we will do, however, is identify your very specific case, your really what is your profile, and then we'll get you with the right employer. Passing a drug test is going to be critical in the 5G space, regardless of whether, a great example, marijuana is legal in your state or not. That's really not relevant. What's relevant is marijuana is a class 1 controlled substance, therefore, you still have to be able to pass the drug test. That's going to be
Correct.
very critical. Adriana, then we go ahead.
I'm sorry. I wanted to know, like, do they have to have a GED or a high school diploma in order to qualify for this class or for this?
Not for the class and not for the job either.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
the this diploma that you gain while you're with us supersedes that requirement.
Okay.
So our employers will accept you with our diploma,
Okay.
even if you don't have the high school diploma. It's okay. What they want to know is that you're able to be disciplined enough to go through a program of this rigor and graduate. Because if you do, then you've got a lot of great characteristics that this industry is looking for. But other little things that I think are really important, Adriana, is we want to make sure that they have a reliable form of transportation. You got to be able to get to and from work. And I say that because historically, those employees that have a transportation issue historically have an employment obstacle also as an outcome. So we want to make sure of that. The other thing is Dallas and really the state of Texas is one of the largest 5G infrastructure buildouts in the country. There is a significant amount of money going into your state. But that means that you could be in Dallas one day, you could be in Irvin the next day, you could be in Plano the next day, you could be all over that entire region. And there will be times where if the travel is greater than 1 hour, they're going to basically put you up in hotels. So consider
Okay.
that they may be traveling or you may be traveling 2 to 4 weeks at a time. So you've got to be okay with that before you even enter the industry. If you're going to be in a tower, you can't weigh more than 240 pounds. That's a critical component. So
Okay.
if you weigh 240 and above, you may want to go into a different part, such as fiber or in building wireless. And then afraid of heights. If you are afraid of heights, again, not going to be, tower may not be the way to go. But I will tell you what the employers really do like. They want to know whether or not you're afraid to work in the elements. Working outdoors. This is not a job it's in a cubicle. It's really outdoors in a team, in a unit, in the elements, in the heat and in the cold of your local area. So if you have a mechanical background and you're not afraid of the elements, hot and cold, then this is definitely going to be a great career opportunity for you for sure. Um,
Awesome.
yeah. So, Adriana, a couple of other things here is, we've graduated 1,100 people over the last 2 years. We have a 91% placement rate, and 84% of our graduates are still working there at the 1 year mark. And that's incredible because that also means that historically, 38% of our graduates get promoted twice within 1 year.
That's
And
awesome.
that's
And every time they get promoted, they get a raise as well, correct?
That is exactly right. There is
Awesome.
an apprenticeship methodology where they get a raise at the 6 month mark and the 1 year mark. So if the employer that you go to is an apprenticeship participant with the Department of Labor, that means that you will be getting a guaranteed increase at 6 months and 1 year. And if it's not
Awesome.
an apprenticeship employer, we will engage in pre negotiating that you are viewed for a potential increase, again, at the 6 month and 1 year mark. That is something that we believe that when you come in, if you are the cream and you rise to the top and you demonstrate the ability to really do the work and be relied upon, these employers will definitely promote you. This industry is desperate for great men and women.
That sounds so, so good. And I know a lot of people that are watching right now, they're asking, where should I contact? Is there an email address? Is there a website that I could do? And if you could let them know about this.
Yes, absolutely. So I would begin. So the gentleman whose email address you see down here, his name is Leo. And Leo is your primary point of contact. I recommend that you reach out to him. Feel free to copy me in the email. My email address is directly here, cruiz@mylearningalliance.com. But Leo is going to be your primary point of contact. Bilingual, speaks English and Spanish, will be more than willing and able to support any questions that you have. And at the end of the day, within the Learning Alliance family, feel free to go to mylearningalliance.com. Go onto the website, look at the different programs, learn a little bit more, but more importantly, reach out to us. If you send us an email within 24 hours, we will reach out to you so that we can answer your questions and identify and process some of your requirements. At the end of the day, we just want to get you into a career, not a job. This is
That is
definitely not a job. We want to get you into a career. We want to make sure that you get paid well and you can serve yourself, your family, and your community.
That is so true. And that is exactly what we do here at the Employment Corner. We partner up with employers and career paths for our entire community. So we already heard, even if you don't have a GED or a high school diploma, this is for you. And also, you can visit our website and the Employment Corner, and we're going to be uploading all the information that has been provided today. Is there anything else, Cesar, that you would like to provide our community with? Or any word of motivation before we end this interview?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, you know, being that I am a Hispanic, a minority, I know what it's like to be an immigrant. I know what it's like to come into a foreign land and start from scratch. But take it from me, there is a great deal of opportunity. Telecommunications is not going anywhere. It's another utility. If you really do have that great work ethic and you really want to make a great living, give us the opportunity to serve you. It would be an honor to provide the scholarships, provide the support, and really guide you into a new career. And if there's anything that we can do, please reach out to us. And Adriana, thank you again for everything that you've done. And I am readily available to serve your community. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in to the Employment Corner. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms, and you can find us as Brother Bill Helping Hand. Once again, Brother Bill's Helping Hand. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.